This is Gemara Baba Basra Daf Sadi Beis as we begin a new parak here, the sixth parak of Baba Basra. Today's shir has been generously sponsored as an incredible schos Alias Neshama of Aster Rizal Basra Meir Psiyat Dishmaya. The continuous learning of the entire Chabura should bring Aster Rizal Basra Meir higher in Gan Eden Shalmaila, an incredible Alias Neshama. We begin the sixth parak, the parak of Hamoicher Peiroi. Hamoicher Peiroi is Lachaviroi, someone who sells a fruit to his friend. And the detail that is not explicated, says Rashi, is you sell, the Rashbam, that you sell the Peiroi Stam, and you did not explain Im Lizriya Im Lachila. Why are you selling the fruit? Are you selling it lizriya? Are you selling it for planting? Are you selling it la'achila? Are you selling it for eating? Vizaran v'loit samchu. And he went and he planted that which he bought, the peiros, but he did not grow. V'afilu zera bishtan, and even if it was flaxseed, which in general is an item which is purchased for planting, einoi chayav achriyusan, the seller is not obligated for the loss. They never spelled out. Look at the Rashbam towards the end of the narrow lines. He explains, Avimekach Tais, the seller is not responsible. Why? It's a Mekach Tais. Reu ke'itzim shal zayis, imsa shal shikma yayim, and imsa chayim is Avimekach Tais, v'kol shekin b'kan, and certainly here. Why? The Rashbam explains, excuse me, I'm reading the wrong Rashbam. I'm sure everyone is wondering. The Rashbam is explaining why you're yes chayiv, not why you're not chayiv. We just learned einay chayiv achrus, and you're not obligated. I apologize. We'll come back to the Rashbam in one moment. Rashbam Goimer says in Shimon Gamliel, Zaroni gina she'ina cholin chayiv b'achriyusan. If you bought garden seeds which are not edible, and you only plant them, and you planted them and they didn't grow, then you are yes chayiv. Now let's go back to that Rashbam. Why are you chayiv? Says the Rashbam. Because it's a mekach tais, you got to pay him back. Why? Because it's like you bought eitzim shel zayis and it was the wrong item. I tell you, you want to buy olive wood and it's sycamore wood. I'll tell you, want to buy wine and it's vinegar. It's a mekach tais. And the Rashbam seeks out that certainly over here, the Hasami, there are those who want the Shikma, there are those who want the Chaimetz. They can ikle bahachi. Avalacha, kim da achila loy chazu, lizriya loy chazu, ein loy takana ala saka. This item, says Rashbag, the Zarayin Egina, is not fit to eat, and now it can't be planted. So what am I going to do with it? I just have to burn it. And I don't have to even you don't have to even pay the value of the wood because you don't get any enough from it. And it's if he said to Machla Zera, he's some Dmei Vadai, Zera Zavinu. So says Shimon Gamliel, not arguing, but if it's a Raine Gina, if it's an item which is clearly used for planting and it doesn't grow, then you are yes chayiv. So says the Gemara, Itmar, delving a little bit deeper, how to figure out when one is or is not a chayiv. This should ring a bell. This goes back to Gemara's the Baba Kama. Someone sells a shar to his friend, and it comes out that the shar is not a benign animal, but rather it had a violent and goring nature. Rav Amar Rizal Mekach Tayis, Shmuel Amar no. The seller can say, I understand it's a violent animal, but maybe I sold it to you for eating purposes. L'shchita, to shech the animal and eat it. Says the Gemara, why is that a machlokes? Why don't we just look for lechsi? We should check. Igavra de zavan l'nich sisa. If it's someone who usually buys the animal for shchita, for slaughter, then l'nischa, then that's why he bought it. Iliradia. If it's a person who usually buys for plowing, then l'radia. So says the Gemara, I don't really understand this machlokes. A shar is purchased, and now we're busy saying, Rav said to Mekach Tais, and Shmuel says, what do you mean I can tell you that go and use it for shchita? let's go and look. Is this a person that generally buys and uses the shar for shechita or not? Says the Gemara, you know what the case is? 4 lines to the bottom. The Gavra, the Zavin, Lahachi, Ulahachi. Talking about a person who buys for both. He has animals that he uses for plowing. He has animals that he uses for shechita. Therefore, there's no way to determine just based merely on that which he normally does. Says the Gemara, okay, but 1 second, it's a different price. Of course, an animal that's going to be used for plowing is at a higher price than an animal you plan on shechting it. Says the Gemara, even this you cannot do. Why? Lo tzricha di'aker Basra come b'dmei radio. We're talking at a time or a place that the cost of meat, the cost of even meat for shechita has risen, and it's the same price as an animal bought for plowing. He says, Mar, 1 second, you just caught yourself. So what's the whole story? Rav says he bought it for plowing. Shmuel says he bought it for shechita. Wait, if they're the same price, what's the difference? Says the Gemara, you're right. There's no real dollar value in a simplistic manner, but rather nafkamina litircha. The difference is who is the one that has to be tereach for this animal. If you look at the Rashbam all the way 2 lines from the very bottom of the Psalm, he says tereach mechiras hashar l'shchita limcher habasar. Rav says it's mechas of yachzal mechas damav, and Shmuel says not. So nafkamina is going to be who is one that's obligated to be metapel, to deal with the aftermath, deal with selling it, etc. Says the Gemara, I don't understand echidami. What exactly is this case as we turn over to Sadi Beis Amid Beis? Says the Gemara, what's the case? If the seller does not have any cash for the buyer to collect a refund, lakiv tura bezuzei. So then, why does Rav say that you return the ox at all? He should keep the ox in lieu of his money until you give me back cash. Tamri and she, says the Gemara, like people say, Manmari rishusech apara. One who's in debt, collect even bran. So says the Gemara, according to Rav, who says that the buyer retains the ox, still, what's the purpose? You get your value back, and if the guy doesn't have the value, you hold on to it until you get it from him. Loitzricha, says the Gemara, the seller does have cash, and therefore I, the buyer, after I realize that this animal is quite violent, I am claiming I want that cash back. And the question is, can I collect that cash? Rav Amariza Mekartois. Why? Basra Ruba Azlina Ruba Ladizvini. We go by the Rive, and most people buy Sharvari, most people buy the ox for what? For plowing. And therefore I, the buyer, can tell you, the seller, please give me back cash. Shmuel Armelacha, no. Kiazlina Basra Ruba is only be Isura. But b'mamayna lai, when it comes to monetary matters, we don't go by Rive, and therefore says Shmuel, in this case, we do not say it's a mekach tais. Rather, we say it could be you bought it for the meat, and the loikeach, the purchaser, is the one that has to be metapel afterwards with this animal. Says the Gemara again, we're going to have now a bunch of kashas back and forth in Rav and Shmuel. And once again, the Gemara introduces with a siman ishavet shar upeirais, excuse me. And again, we will say that we're trying Mirza Hashem very soon to incorporate the Zichru memory system into the Daf. I implore everyone to try to check it out. Mirza Hashem. Meisvei says the Gemara 8 lines down. The first one line is Meisvei. Hoyishishen is almina in iskarsha, a woman that is widowed or divorced. Now she wants to get her ksuba. V'yoymeres psula nisati. Bring us back to the ksubis days. She says, I was married as a besula. I never had relations, and therefore I get the requisite 200 zuz ksuba. V'huoymer. And well, literally, this is the husband. That's when it's a divorce. The case of Nis Almana, when she was widowed, then it's the husband's yarshim, the heirs that are claiming this. When we or our father was married, you're an almana. you already had relations, and therefore your ksuba is only 100. If there are edim that on her wedding day, she either went down behinuma, machlekes, what exact that is, a veil, a chair, parua, her hair was untied. These are all simanim that she was a bisula. Then ksubasa masayim. So explains the Gemara. What do we see from this price? Time odika edim. Only because she had edim that she went out proving that she was a basula, she'll get 200. Haleka edim lai. But if there are no such edim, then she will not get 200. So what does this prove? Vamai. Now why is this true? Why don't we say go after the majority of women? And most women get married when they are the basula. So from the fact that the Mishnah in Ksubis requires edis, it seems we do not go basaroiv by mamanis. Araya to Shmuel, akasha to Rav. Amar Ravina, no raya, no kasha. But you're right. There is such a rife, but there's the miyat. O miyat almanais. And there's a minority that get married when they are an almana. Cholanis besula yesh la kol. And now, if you were part of that rive, then there should have been a kol. Vizu, and in this story, there should have been a call, should have been a rumor, people should have remembered. And in this particular story, Hayal sins, Ve'in la kol iter le ruba, it's a reis on the roiv. And that's the reason why we say you need eidos, but it's not a kasha on Rav. But asks the Gemara 8 lines on the bottom, he called this says Basulas Yishla and Kol. So he Eidim I have a who cares now that there are Eidim proving that she was a basula. What happened to her call? Ki Eidim I have a midalesle call. From the fact she doesn't have a call, Sahade Shakri Ninhu. That lack of call contends and disputes the Eidim, because it's going countering the Eidim. The Eidim saying she was a basula. The call saying no, she's not, because no one is remembering that she was a basula. So why would we believe the Eidos? Says the Gemara, okay, so we have to go back and re-explain the Mishnah, 5 lines to the bottom. Ella rather Roivan says basula yesh kol. Majority, yes, have a kol. But vizu halvein la kol ruba. Not roiv. We changed the fine detail. Not roiv haniseis. Let's go back and see the original way the Gemara said it. Not roiv nashim besulis niseis. Not that the majority are besulis, but rather roiv of the time that you marry a basula there is called. Meaning, what the Gemara changed is it's not absolute. Before we said roiv women are a basula, and therefore there should be a call. The Gemara is changing now. No, within those that are a basula, majority of the time there is a call, but not in all cases. Therefore, we can't bring a raya or a kasha from over here to Rav and Shmuel. Stop over here. We'll continue asking rayas and kashas Rav and Shmuel about the dinam of roiv in Mirza Hashem.